Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of RK Football Talk. And it is just me and Stuart you've got today. I think
Yeah.
we injured Carl again after the defeat in the quiz last week. Just throwing it out there,
I mean, coincidence?
Genius right here, but no, but we'll leave it at that. Obviously, don't want to rub it in too much.
Oh my word.
Anyway, how you doing, Stuart? You all right?
Um, yeah, pretty good. I mean, obviously it's a bit different this weekend because of with the football because of Liverpool not in it. It's the FA Cup, so it's a
Yeah.
nice weekend off, I guess.
Well,
Watching
we're
football.
not in it either. We haven't watched it. Should we cover it? Really? We're not in it,
Nah,
so we don't need to cover it, do we?
we'll skip it. It's fine. Let's just
Yeah, there
move
we
on.
go. It's fine. No, but I think the big talking point from this weekend, and it's been talked all over the media, is definitely that challenge by
Oh,
Liam Roberts in the Crystal Palace game for Millwall. I mean, what?
what was he doing? I
Like,
don't get it.
this goalkeeper has jumped so high up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there is no way you can control that ball. There's no way you can control that ball. Like,
I
why
mean,
did you go in your head?
I mean, to be fair, like, and also has a defender on him. Like, was it the Palace, and obviously he did shove him out of the way. But like the keeper, like, if he had just like not done that and maybe stayed back a bit, he might have had a better chance of stopping it. But the
Yeah.
idea that he's just gone, the best decision out there is to go. I'm just going to put my studded boots, as you call it, in the highest possible position to get the ball.
Oh,
You
God.
get that, you're clashing into him. That's a foul. But obviously, in this case, he basically was it 23 stitches, I think it was, or something like that.
Yeah.
I
Chris
mean,
got it to the ear, didn't he?
yeah, I mean, but to talk that, but like that's the kind of stuff that could actually, I mean, if he got that horribly wrong, you could actually not be dramatic, die from that,
Yeah,
like get
you could.
kicked in
Yeah.
the face. So,
No player goes out to purposely injure a player. They don't purposely go out to purposely do that. They just don't. But it just showed a lack of there was a lot of naivety going in for that ball. There was so
yeah, I
much
mean,
naivety, and personally, I think that what is it, red card? I think you get like 3-game ban or
yeah,
something like that.
I think he got a
Yeah,
3-game ban. I think I've seen that just recently. Yeah.
I would increase that.
Oh
I
yeah, I'm saying.
personally, I would. Yes, like he didn't purposely mean to do it, but it's so dangerous what he did. So dangerous.
Yeah, I mean it's up there with like he says 3 match bans straight away, but 5 or 6 maybe. Like we're talking,
Yeah.
it's like it's you've seen people get. Yeah, it's just I don't know what he's thinking. I get it. You want to get the ball right, and obviously yes, technically it's 1-on-1, like literally with the keeper, but with yourself. But like, there's no way. There's more. There's no way you're going to get that. Like
No.
even if you do, it's just. But ironically, I think of that game anyway. It's just I think kind of shock Millwall anyway, because after that I think Palace just kind of destroyed them and then it was over. But obviously when it comes to the game now, obviously the takeaway for obviously that terrible like Palace into the quarterfinals. I mean, this FA Cup weekend is like quarterfinals. It's like someone said, probably the most exciting FA Cup has been for a long time.
I think Aston Villa are probably second favourites.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, like they pretty much made. I mean, it took them a while against was it Cardiff, but yeah, I mean, if it's one person that knows how to win cup competitions, it's Unai Emery. Like the guy knows how to win cup competitions, and
yes,
except for yes, Man City, but again, if we talk about the next round, you've got obviously they've got Bournemouth at Bournemouth, and obviously last time they went to Bournemouth. Bournemouth absolutely destroyed them. So
yeah, that is true.
it's what gives. I think people why say it's an open competition is because basically, like, yes, we're talking about City, but we're not talking about the City that dominated the league for 4 years.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
and obviously, and it's example you got like was it Bournemouth? You got the Brightons, you got the Fulhams, you got the not. Obviously, as we're recording this, obviously Nottingham Forest or Ipswich possibly.
That's right.
It just would be nice to. I think it's just because the FA Cup's become. It's first time in a very long time that it's just somebody that's not in the top 6 or that's in for Hans. Like example like Fulham, perfect example of a club that's never won a trophy in there, and then never was it. They've obviously got through against Man United, and obviously they've got a good tie against. If I remember correctly, they've got a good tie against Palace, and that'd be huge for them if they win. If Fulham win the FA Cup, I mean that'd just be unbelievable.
If you, other than City, who would you love to see in the final? Like for me, Aston Villa would be one. I think that it would be so good to see Unai Emery cap off his time so far with Aston Villa with a trophy. That would be pretty nice to see.
Yeah,
me, I think.
I would. I mean, I think it's either that or for some reason, just because obviously quite close, obviously because Brighton's quite near where I live. It's a Brighton, I would say, just because
Brighton, yeah.
Because I'm just thinking for how they've won one of the best run clubs in the Premier League, and obviously with the idea that they've always been a kind of set, buy and sell type club. It would just like kind of justify it for them. That looks like, and it's not even their best season as well. And then
no, it's not.
And then as much as getting in Europe and all, it's great. Everyone wants to win silverware. And obviously for a club like Brighton, I mean, I remember watching them when they're playing like in the old Division 2 or Division 3 or something, when they didn't even have a stadium.
Exactly.
And then, but yeah, I would say either Villa or Brighton probably ones I'll go for.
You just hope that it throws up another shock. You just hope a couple more shocks happen. Like I say, I know City have not had the greatest season, but they've had enough silverware. Like let someone else have a piece of silverware for once.
and also, it would be nice for like the season they've had. It would just be not fair that basically they've had one of the worst seasons ever and they still win something. I think the way they've played this season, they need to have a trophy this season. I don't think it's fair. Like they're one of their worst teams in years and they still win a trophy. It just doesn't feel right to me. I don't know why.
That is. Well, the other obviously big talking point from the weekend was obviously what happened with Anthony Gordon as well in the Brighton game. I mean, what a stupid idea that was. Like he knew. Well, I say obviously he knew what the repercussions were for doing something of that magnitude, but you make the most of it. Go down, do something like that instead, because you might have got a penalty because he was holding you. Like you obviously got frustrated, but do not act out in the way that you did. Which is one thing.
They just pushed him. Like I remember seeing it. At least we're not talking about like just like a little, nudge. It's basically pushed him like that. And obviously, if you're doing that, a player like that, he's going to go down, isn't he? Yeah. So like you're playing into his hands, and then now it looks like he's bound for the Carabao Cup final against us. And obviously I've heard Newcastle are going to try and appeal it, but I don't see them as succeeding.
I honestly think second best player going into the Carabao Cup final is now out for Newcastle. Like you'd say, Isak's probably the biggest threat.
I am saying. I mean, they were.
Then you got Tonali, good
player
going forward. Bruno Guimaraes, but you wouldn't say they were better than Anthony Gordon in terms of the threat they pose. But this is the thing, you just never know. On the day, all it takes is one player to have a really good game, and the other team just to not pay attention for a minute, and that could be the winner.
Yeah,
or something like that. So it's a one-off game, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm obviously not that. That sounds like I'm really cocky. I'm not. I'll be petrified on the day.
You are, yeah.
Cup finals are one of those things. It's just you want. Obviously, you're like, oh, if you don't win it, it's fine. No, you want to win it. Like if you're in a cup final, you win. Like I don't want that kind of asterisk. Like if obviously we win the league, and then it's also but you lost you lost this final, you lost that final. It's like nah, I want any competition win. I want to win it. So. Yeah, I mean,
at what point do you sit there and go, we've got a realistic chance of winning this? I think if for me, for Chelsea, this is Champions League, like Europa, the Conference League, FA Cup, League Cup, any competition like that. Once we're past the quarter-final stage, that's when I go, we are in a real chance of winning this. Because quarter-final, there's still a chance you could slip up.
Yeah.
There,
and also with obviously it was the FA Cup at least, obviously because the thing with it being at Wembley, the semi-finals in Wembley, it's like if you're sitting there playing like the national stadium, and you're like, playing at Wembley in a cup, like you're one game away from going back to Wembley.
Yeah.
That's usually when you go, you got a chance. But
yeah,
I mean, I think Newcastle would be devastated when they got knocked out in the way they did in the FA Cup, because they're probably thinking, well, we've got one cup final. If you get another,
yeah. They are having a pretty good season. Like I don't see them getting that Champions League place, unfortunately. I think that they're not going to have the legs in the latter stages of the season, which is a shame. But yeah, I think if they could maybe win, like if they won the trophy, the League Cup, and they had a good run in the FA Cup and maybe got a semi-final, something like that, and then with the season they're having in the league, that would have been I think Eddie Howe would have taken that, and the board would have done as well.
I mean,
I think
especially at the start of the season, how they started as well. A lot of it was injuries, like play not. I don't remember they weren't scoring either. I think it was just, yeah, I think they were taking that, but I think with that one, it's just like, if you can get two, like, I think with them, it's like, okay, we've got the Carabao Cup final, but if we if we could have got the League Cup final, that's two finals. Obviously, that's better. The odds, like, it's basically like better chance of getting some silverware. But
yeah,
I think for them, if they the Champions League probably is out of their reach, but if they can get back in Europe in any way, they'll be happy with that. And if they can win the Carabao, if they win a Carabao Cup, that'd be was a bonus for them.
Did you hear what Gerard Piqué come up with an idea of, which I thought was interesting? So he was talking about how now football fans are paying between 100, 200 to 300 euros to go watch a football match, for it to potentially end 0-0 and watch a pretty rubbish game. Obviously, this is going to happen no matter where you go.
Yeah.
But his idea was, why don't we instead, where the game ends 0-0, neither team gets any points. So what that then introduces is that within the last 20 minutes or so, that teams will then go for it, because it's like, well, we can't play this game and get nothing from it. We have to go for it. But the argument I had then was, well, why don't you just drop ticket prices then? like come up with this. Why just go there? Just drop ticket prices. That's an idea.
So basically, he's trying to do the whole, like, trying to find a creative change the way the football is, just to justify that.
Yeah.
Well, if you got to pay more, then maybe we should make it more exciting. Like, no, you're right. Put the ticket prices down.
Yeah, just put ticket prices down. Like, this is a good idea. I like the idea, but drop ticket prices. That's all you got to do. It's not hard.
It really isn't. Like, I mean, I think that crazy ideas, but yeah, just if you make football affordable for people, more people would go. It's really not. It's a work. Exactly. I mean, it's a workers' man sport, isn't it? It's like,
yeah.
So
well, is it now? Is it now?
Well, no, it's not now, but
not in the Premier League, at least.
Not no, Premier League. You can get me started about watching, kind of like the idea of going to watch non-league football. I love non-league football. I love going to non-league games. So much fun.
It's nice to know when you watch a footballer and you're watching them play and you're like, oh, this player does look really good, and then he does this shot and you realise, actually, I could be on that football pitch right now. The other thing I wanted to actually speak about as well, now there's been some rules brought in for the 25-26 season in regards to the goalkeepers. Now, I don't know if anyone has obviously heard about this at all, but if they haven't, I'll explain it now. From next season, when a goalkeeper picks up the ball, if they are wasting time and holding the ball, I think it is for 8 seconds, then immediately the referee will then award the opposing team a corner as a result of that. Okay. Rather than get a yellow card for wasting time, they will then be instead given a corner. What is your thoughts on that, Stuart?
I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing it would stop like people like perfect example person when I thought of this when I looked it up is it would stop someone like Pickford doing that kind of.
Yes, I just thought of that. Yeah. Yeah, I
Like that
agree.
cheeky little thing he did, I think, one season ago when he played us against Liverpool, when he's sitting there, little cocky, little smile, going on the floor and holding it for like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, yeah, it would stop that. That's annoying. I have to admit. But again, it's small little changes that, to be fair, is any football fan that I know of going out there saying, you know what really annoys me? I really want to get rid of, like, keepers kind of like holding the ball a bit longer. It's
Yeah.
annoying, but out of all the things to fix in football,
It
is
was
this
not
we
that. It was
no.
not that. It was like, when you said that now just then, all I could think was Peter Griffin. Do you know what really grinds my gears? Like,
Yeah,
it's like,
it just
like that 100% was not in the top 10. It was
no.
the top 10.
It's just
But I I like the idea of the rule because then it gives the opposing team an opportunity if they were to do something like that. But it's going to reduce that time wasting as well. It is going to reduce that unnecessary time wasting at the same time.
and
That's the only
also,
part I see.
yeah, and also kind of, is it like, is that kind of like what football is sometimes? Like, obviously, when you got a team holding out, and obviously you got like a couple, you got 2-3 minutes left, and you want to, make sure, like a bit of time waste. I mean, everyone looks at time wasting. Obviously, if you're on the opposite end of it, you
Mm.
hate it because you like. I mean, I've but any game when you watch it, you just shout at them, going, "Oh, ref, sort them out. They're doing
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
doing that."
yeah.
But like, I
But
don't
then if
know.
it's your team, you're like, stay there as long
It's
as
like,
you
yeah,
want with that ball.
I don't know. I just
We're
don't
the
know. It's
biggest
like,
hypocrites. Football fans are hypocrites.
oh, 100%. There's no such thing as neutrality when it comes to football.
Exactly. That 100% was a foul. If that same thing happens to your team, play on, play on. He's fine. He's fine. Just keep
Didn't
going.
see it. Didn't see it.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't. I mean, I get it if you want to. If you want it, it feels like I think the thing that obviously a lot of fans are kind of like get annoyed about wouldn't be that the keeper's doing that, or
Yeah.
like, I mean, again, there is an interesting idea. I'm fascinated to see how it worked. The idea if he goes over, you know, 8 seconds and then all of a sudden you go, no, it's a corner. It's like I'm intrigued to see how it will work.
Yeah.
But like, perfect example.
Could you imagine?
They
No, I was about to drop this ball. I promise. I promise.
Oh, it's going to be great. I have to admit, it's going to be great watching it. But it's, as a rule, I mean,
It's
the-
petty. It's
I,
petty.
I mean, out of all the rules to sort out, two things probably would be sort out VAR and sort out the handball rule.
My biggest one, yeah, handball rule, I do agree. But my biggest one isn't sort out VAR. It is sort out the standard of refereeing in this country now. It is the worst it has been for years. I like the biggest one that highlights it for me was that challenge by Liam Roberts this week. Liam Roberts this weekend. Why did VAR have to get involved for something so obviously going to be a red card?
And he saw it.
Yeah,
He was actually directly seeing, like, it was actually right in
yeah.
front of him. I
And this isn't a rubbish referee. We are talking a really good standard of referee. Like, I'm sorry, but the standard has dropped drastically now, and I think it's because, oh, do you know what? It doesn't matter if I make a mistake or if I miss something. VAR's over there to pick it up.
it's it's taken away the decision making. Like,
Yeah.
stat go, like, no, like,
Mm.
this is, but like, we've got to sort in the FA Cup without VAR. Obviously, when they haven't got that safety blanket, and
Yeah.
I think that kind of is very telling how they do make bad decisions either way. And
Yeah.
obviously, like examples, and I keep bringing it up, but that Man United one where it was like you got 5 people offside, and you're telling me a linesman can't see that. I mean,
Yeah.
what are you doing? But
Exactly.
I think it's more of a situation of, yeah, I think VAR, what it's done, it's just made them less assertive to go, no, I'm going to make a decision on the fly. Because yes, it's something you don't want to get it wrong, but I think the margin of error is so high these days.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be a ref. Would you?
Uh, I I think that this is probably going to annoy a lot. Well, if any referees ever listen to this, I think that it's a lot easier to be a referee now than it used to be. It's so much easier because, like I say, you can make a mistake. Don't worry, someone else is going to pick it up. Like I just miss the thing of like the best thing they need to bring in for me is they need to improve the standard refereeing, but they also need to bring in mic'd up referees. They've done it in this country, and I loved it. Both times I saw it, both times I straight away said, that is a brilliant idea. Why have we not got it already?
I'm not against it, to be fair. I mean, I think it's because obviously the frustration with fans would be because obviously when we watch it on telly, we've got commentary, multiple angles, all that kind of stuff. But when you're in the ground, it's like you're just basically getting a scream saying pending, and
Exactly,
you don't know until someone says it. So if the ref's coming out explaining it,
yeah,
you're I mean, I think I like the idea of like maybe like I think someone brought up a long time ago. It's like was it interviewing refs after games? Because if you if you have to the funny thing is it's like we all think refs are like if they have to explain how the decisions they make in a sense of why they thought that way, we'll probably see them more as just the villain and more as people that are like, you know, how you because that's how we look at refs, we don't treat them like that sometimes. But
yeah,
I'm not I mean, obviously that's more interviewing and obviously that means it's all about the refs. But I think it's just if they explain if you know the explanation why they made their decision instead of it just being a you know, they blow the whistle, hear stuff on the mic, and then they just the decision. But if they go for your thought process, maybe people will be more understanding. I don't know.
yeah. I'd love to hear the referees for Liam Roberts' challenge. I'd love to hear that interview. Oh, I sneezed and it happened. Like what? I don't know what, but I don't idea of that interviewing the referees after games. I think for me, what could end up happening is you're focusing on one incident, and then whatever their answer may be, the person doing the interview will then be wanting to go, oh, well, then if you've done this, then why'd you do this? And then why, if you've done that, then why'd you do that? And I think that it's like, how long's a piece of string? That interview could just go on for days. And I feel like that it would take the credibility away from a referee. I mean, VAR has already done that anyway. So I think that's the danger with an interview. I think miking up is simple. They go, I don't know. Reason for the red card is because of reckless play by the player, high boot, whatever it might be, red card. And then the whole stadium's heard it. Everyone's heard it. You can't argue it because that's what the referee's doing. You move on. Done. And that, for me, it just sounds very definitive there.
Okay. We're probably one of the only sports that don't do it, to be honest, because a lot of sports do the old miking up. I mean, perfect example, NFL do it all the time, I think, and they mic up as well. But I mean,
Rugby.
yeah, I mean, obviously, no one disrespects referees in rugby. I mean,
No, even though they're 10 times smaller than the actual rugby players themselves.
Yeah, but you don't, mate, you don't see the kind of disrespect they get on like footballers and rugby fans. They just like I think it's because I've got a friend that's a rugby ref, and it's like it's like the respect, like because they're brought up from an early age to you got to respect the referee, and also it's probably doesn't help in this football where they're changing the rules all the time. So interpretation of like example the offside rule, handball, things should be quite straightforward, and now like different interpretations. So it's not surprising that refs one day you could have a ref that's good quality and it could be like, oh, that's a really good decision, and then the next one you have a terrible one because obviously it's not straightforward. Like as you said about miking up, simple, keep it simple. When it comes to rules like that, keep it simple. Like if you look at it and go like we're not talking about inches, you're looking like the guy's properly offside. He's offside. If the guy's like putting his hand like that for the handball, it's handball. I think they've tried to complicate it too much. So even refs, even if they like can't interpret them because they might look at the rule and they might have different interpretation, it should be quite straightforward. So I think
all I can imagine is that if you keep bringing in rules, if you keep bringing in all these different rules and different like ideas behind the rule, all you're going to get one day is a referee blow the whistle and he's going to go 1 minute, McAllister,
Get the phone out here.
No, that's yes, no, yes, no. Right, red card. Like it's like where's to like you've
I mean,
got to make it simple.
yeah, I mean, how many of these red cards we've got this season? We've had like what's it? One I saw Bournemouth last weekend. I think it's like he got sent off straight red. I think it was, and I think it's like when you slow it down, it looks really bad because he's starting to be. It's like he,
Yes,
but,
yes,
but he got the ball. Like at least I think it's just because he got the ball and he's yeah. It's basically it's not a red card, but it looks bad. But there's no.
yeah.
But I think it's a lot to do with yes, the standard referee's not good, but also I think it's the laws of the game. They've overdone it with
Yeah.
the changing it. That's just it's hard to really gauge what the rules are anymore.
I think if okay, really quickly, we'll finish on these ones here. Now, if finish on this section, I mean, sorry. If you could bring 3 things to improve refereeing for next season, what would they be? Like for me, it would be stop slowing down instances on VAR, show them in real time. I
Mm.
think because that's what you actually see. Stop slowing him down and stop doing the freeze frame. Slow it down. Slowing it down is going to complicate it. Just every angle, same speed, done. The other one would be miking up referees and really get these referees keep the rules simple, like you say. That'd be my 3 at least.
I mean, maybe if one thing I made a VAR thing with the old. We have this. I think we have the situations of like the taking too long.
Mm.
So obviously, I don't want another Tottenham situation where we kind of like just do it in 3 seconds and then boom, they complete the check and then. But there's got to be a
Oh
there's
god, yeah.
got to be a limit. I think there's got to be a limit on it. Like it should be a situation if you're doing it for like 1 or 2 or 3 minutes and you're looking at it, you still can't get a decision. It should be a situation you go, okay, now, okay.
It was like that one the other day. It was 7 minutes, 7 minutes to look at an offside call, and it's like really.
I know it's just. I think that's and also. I mean, the mic art thing might help with that, obviously, but like.
Mm.
But it's just that it shouldn't take that long. If you're looking at it for 7 minutes and you still can't decide if you're sure, then it's probably not. It's not worth. You should just let it go and just let it go. Like move on. So I'll probably do that. I mean, I think the trying to make it the offside rule because obviously we've got the automatic. What was it? The FA Cup this weekend.
Semi-automatic, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not against.
Offside.
I'm not against that, but it's just we've got to be clear what part of the body is offside. Because how many times you look at offside decisions, you're off by like it's your head, like unless maybe make it simple enough that you just sit look at it and go, okay, if it's obvious he's way off, like if he's sending it like that, if you blink your eye and you can't see it.
Yeah.
Because how many times you see that, and I'm like, oh, what is his toe offside or what? It's like maybe his hand just about offside. It's like it's too accurate. I know you want that in football in a way, but that's not how.
Is it obvious to the naked eye?
Yeah, if you're looking at the first screen, you're looking at the screen, you go, that looks offside to me.
Mm.
That's what I would do. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, no, I agree. Well, there was a section that I come up with for tonight's episode, and we do actually want to reach out to the fans as well for this one, and it is our start, bench, and sell. Okay, all you got to do is come up with 3 players. They have to be in the same position, and it can come from any era. We could be like all the way back to the post-war era. You could be like prior to that as well. Could be start the Premier League, outside Premier League, whoever you want. We want your start, bench, sell in the comments, and we want as many as we can because in next week's episode we'll go through them all. All right. Now, as a little starter though, me and Stuart are going to do a couple tonight. Okay. So I'll be fair and will say, Stuart to start. What have you got for me, Stuart? Go on. I'm going to try and see if I got this one.
Oh, I've got a couple, but one that I found that would be interesting is sell, bench, or start, bench. Well,
1 second.
Oh,
Before we
okay.
start, we have to keep hydrated. It is key. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Stay
Of
hydrated,
course.
people.
Oh, it's getting taking its very seriously. Wants to make sure.
This isn't recording. Squash.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Right. Go on then.
All right. So this one I saw and it's kind of interesting. And I thought it would be cool. It's a bit. So it's basically start, bench, sell.
Okay.
Brazilian Ronaldo. Brazilian Rivaldo. Ronaldinho.
Oh, that's hard. Ronaldinho made me fall in love with football. He made me fall in love with football. So I'll always have a place in my heart for him. He was unbelievable when I watched him. Rivaldo was a little bit before my era. He was. I did watch him play, but he wasn't like prime Rivaldo. And then obviously Ronaldo was just an animal, an absolute animal. But oh god, that's hard. That must be hard.
Well, after I saw that one, I'd be like, "That's." Obviously, when playing this, there was supposed to be more of us, but I just thought that it'll get you thinking because it's like it's not as simple as like, well, it's that one's obvious, that one's obvious. So I thought, yeah, that's a good one then.
I'm gonna say start Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo.
Okay,
start Brazilian Ronaldo, bench Ronaldinho, and sell Rivaldo. That just sounds wrong. It sounds wrong.
I know.
And there were people probably in the comments like from the 90s thinking you are so uneducated. And no, I'm standing by it. Rivaldo is third best out of those three. My address I refuse to give.
You're already controversial already. You don't need to be too much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Right. So I've got one, and it's sticking. But it's strikers.
Okay.
Luis Suarez. Everyone knows like right where he's going to be in this one for me, but like I'm not getting involved. That's why I'm asking it. Luis Suarez, Robert Lewandowski, Ibrahimovic.
Oh, I mean, I probably, off the top of my head, I could probably say, as a Liverpool fan, and how much I love Luis Suarez when he was at Liverpool. But then I'm thinking Lewandowski. I mean, good God, the guy's a goal machine.
He's just like I think he's scored the most goals in the season since being at Barcelona. Like as in, like it's his highest tally.
Yeah, I mean, and who was the last one again, sir?
Ibrahimovic. Del to Zlatan.
I think I'll start Lewandowski, bench Luis Suarez, and sell Ibrahimovic.
I thought I was going to say, don't you dare! You can't sell Luis Suarez. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. You're wrong, but yeah, fair enough.
Okay. I mean, I know you, and I know it's Luis Suarez thing to heal you. You're going to die on, aren't you? That's going to be your thing you're going to prove everyone right with that one.
Exactly. There we are. Right. Well, like I say, everyone, we want to hear your start, bench, sell. Okay, get them in the comments, as many as you can, and they can be as outlandish as possible, as easy as possible. It doesn't matter. Put them in there, and we'll read them all out next week. Okay. So, anyway, thanks again for watching, and again, don't forget to share our content and follow us on the YouTube channel. We're also on Instagram as well. And we're also on Facebook too. So by all means, get following, like our page, share our content. More followers, the better. Reach more people. We love it. All right. So thank you very much. And it's goodbye from me and goodbye from Stuart.
See you everyone. Bye.